Hey, hey.
What? Are you there?
I'm not there. What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Where did you go?
The heck?
You've got your video shut
Yo,
off.
it's on. Sorry.
We can hear you.
There we
It's the
go.
hang. There you are.
It's 103.5 Jack FM live.
What?
And I was gonna say, who it's with who's that?
It's Drake.
Special guest Axl Rose.
Well, every week, dude, I tune in and I got to look at the Lochner Luscious locks there, so I just wanted to fit in, bro.
Oh,
Kind of feel like I was part of the crew.
you look like part of the crew. I thought you might have been the guest for today.
No front man. I'm not going to be a front man. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying you look like you might have been the guest for today.
All right, right. Just
Or
ask
could
me
have been a
anything you
guest for today. Not that you look like our guest for today.
That's it, man. We've got an amazing guest for today. Let me get back to my norm.
Oh, that's your
not it either. There it is. All right, baby. So it's 103.5. It's Jack FM. We're live on Facebook right here, powered by Zoom. And it's going to be a great show, man. We got a huge show in store tonight, but there's a few things we got to go over first, Robbie.
Yes.
So first, let's talk about how to get involved with the show, man. If you've got Zoom downloaded on your phone, tablet, your laptop, whatever it is, download Zoom. You can leave your email in the comments down below. You got to like that Facebook page, though, the 103.5 Jack FM. Like it, leave your email. The producers may just reach out to you to bring you live on the screen with us tonight on the Hangout.
Yeah, come in and say hello.
That's badass right there.
With a true rock legend. Our guest tonight is, we're going to get some good stories out of him, I'm sure.
Brother, I am so excited. Let's talk a little bit. We got next week, we got the boys from Candlebox joining us. We've got Kevin Martin and Adam Curry live on the Hangout. That's next Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 Pacific. We've got Morgan Miles lined up behind Candlebox, and she's going to do fantastic, man. She is up and comer in Nashville. Check her out. Go to her YouTube channel, subscribe, hit her up, look up Therapy. You'll be a fan for life.
Sweet.
Right?
We got more guests coming up, but we'll be revealing those soon.
Right? So watch parties and all those things are cool, folks, but really just try to come to 103.5 Jack FM so we can get those views here, so we can bring these artists each and every week. That's what drives us. That's the fuel in the tank, baby.
Yeah. So Carmine's got quite the history, right? Quite the history, starting back in the 60s.
Come
at
on,
a very
brother.
young age. And he's been around and played with, the biggest artist in the world, right?
You got Ozzy, you got Beck, you got Vanilla Fudge, you got Cactus, you got Blue Murder,
Rod Stewart.
And I think we shouldn't hold on anymore, dude. I think we should bring him in. What do you think?
Let's bring him in.
All right. Knock, knock. Let's see if he's going to answer. I think he's coming to see us.
There we go.
Right. Carmine, what's happening, brother?
How you doing, man? I got a little
great
situation here.
All right. So welcome to the Hangout, my brother. We appreciate you for joining us tonight with Jack FM.
No problem, man. How you doing?
Doing beautiful, man. So we got a lot of
hold on. I was going to say I got a dog in here that shouldn't be in here.
Maybe we should bring her in.
Okay, she's gone away.
All right, Robbie, I'm going to let you take lead, brother. Let's go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
We should talk about some things before we get rolling on it. Let's talk about like Guitar Zeus. He's got Guitar Zeus out. People go out and get that. This is amazing. The people on there, Brian May, Slash, Zach Wild. I mean, there's so many people, so many guitar players. It's just
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Malmsteen.
Yeah, there it is.
There it
That's
is.
Actually, that's the wrong cover. That's the old one. That's the one that was released in with a label that went defunct, but you can see the guys who are on it.
Right.
If you go to, you can go to guitarzeus.com. The door came back in again. You go to guitarzeus.com or .net actually, guitarzeus.net. You can see it, or on my website, you can see it. But it's got a great things. I'll tell you one interesting thing about it. We wrote a song in 1997 called Code 19.
Code 19.
Yes. And
Oh, come on.
you know,
Oh,
everybody says right now it feels like we're living in a movie, right?
Right.
The opening line of the song is "Feels like we're living in a movie," right?
yeah.
And the chorus goes into homicide, suicide, and genocide. So we've already had genocide, and we've had a few suicides.
Right.
I'm waiting for the homicide to come, but it's unbelievable how this. We wrote this in 1997. I asked my buddy Kelly Keeling. I said, "Why?" He wrote the lyrics. Why did you not say Code 17 or Code 11? You know.
Right.
So that's the one. There you go.
There we go.
And it's much better cover.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And he said, I don't know, Code 19 sang better. You know, so now I was going to do a lyric video, but I said, you know what? I don't want to do a lyric video. People think I'm like trying to make money off this virus, you know, so I didn't do it. But it's an interesting story.
1990, right?
Yeah.
1997, Code 19, Robbie. That's eerie, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Very eerie, very eerie.
that's
Just
crazy.
like another eerie thing happened to me yesterday. My guitar player from Cactus sent me a CD like a month ago. I didn't pick it up until yesterday, May 17, 2020. What it was Cactus' first gig with Jimi Hendrix, May 17th, 1970.
Wow.
And I picked it up yesterday and listened to it like 50 years later.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah, unbelievable. I said, wow. I mean, if I was in New York at the time, but we left New York 2 months ago when they told us that everything, there you go, there's Cactus. When they told us that everybody is going to be like in state of emergency in New York, we left and went out to Connecticut. That's where we are now. When they actually sold this house while we were out here, and we're moving to Florida in 10 days.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so
So you're
another
moving
thing
to Florida?
I'm going to bring up the Monsters and Heroes. You just released Monsters and Heroes, one of those Zoom videos. It's a tribute for anybody who doesn't know to Ronnie James Dio, who passed 10 years ago. They did a tribute to Ronnie.
Yeah. Originally, we did it with King Cobra, with Paul Shortino singing, and Paul. We had the song. It was called. That's the one. Yeah. This tribute is awesome. You got to play this tribute, man. It's really awesome. What this one is
on the page.
Actually, if you go to peacebrothers.com, right on the cover is the new tribute that we did. That we just released it on Saturday. And,
Really?
And originally it started with Monsters and Heroes with Paul Shortino written the lyrics with King Cobra. It was going to be like a Halloween song. Monsters and Heroes. All our heroes were monsters like Frankenstein and the Mummy and Wolfman when we were kids. And then Paul said, you know what? I want to write it about Ronnie. So he did. He wrote Monsters and Heroes, Dragons and Rainbows in the Dark, you know, really cool lyrics. So we did it as King Cobra, and then we gave it to Wendy Dio for her Dio Cancer Fund. So she had it for a few years. All the money that made from it went to the Cancer Fund. Cool. So when I got it back, by then me and Vinny had an album deal. And I said, Vinny, why don't we do this song, Monsters and Heroes? I mean, you played with him. You know, we could leave Paul Shortino singing it. Paul was managed by Ronnie and Wendy, and Ronnie produced his Rough Cut band. Yep. You know, so he's got a big connection. You got a big connection. I got a connection. It's perfect. So we put Vinny on that track.
Right.
And we released it on our album, and it became the biggest track on the album. Yeah. You know, and got a lot of hits on the video. So about 2.5 weeks ago, Vinny said, I want to do one of these lockdown videos like everybody's doing. I said, okay, what song you want to do? He said, let's do Monsters and Heroes. I said, okay, let's do Monsters and Heroes. So then he called back and said, I want to make this like an event for something, not just to do it. He said, but check this out. In 2 weeks, it's Ronnie's 10th anniversary of his passing on the 16th, which is just last Saturday. And he said, why don't we do it for that? And then there's a reason to do it instead of just doing it like everybody else. So we said, okay, great. So Vinny started it. He did the original drum track with a click at his house, sent to our guitar player from the Drum Wars show, Artie Dillon. Artie put a guitar track on it, sent it to me. I put it on, and I put everything down on my iPhone. Right? I did everything on the iPhone from the video and the audio was one take on the iPhone. Right? And then Artie took the track off the iPhone, my track, and added it. There it is, and added it to the track with me and Vinny. So I'm on the right and Vinny's on the left. Then we gave it to the bass player, James Caputo, who plays with us all the time, and the singer, Jim Crean. So everybody filmed and did their parts. I'm the only one without a studio, you know. But it came out great. It came out fantastic. And then when Artie mixed the audio, he sent it to me in Vimeo. We tweaked it a little bit. Sounds really aggressive and high energy. And then the way he did the video, a lot of bands, when they do the video, sort of like this. You have one camera on everybody's just playing. But Artie mixed the audio and the video together. So when the audio changes to accents, the video's following it, changing screens. It's really cool. You got maybe you can play a little bit of it while we're on. And,
we'll see if we can't bring it up here. I know that
really
Robbie
awesome.
and I were speaking with you briefly before all this took place to maybe have you guys come out to Texas and do a little something with us. So we started playing the Monsters and Heroes track here on our stations.
Nice.
And man, we got a lot of good feedback and a lot of requests coming in for it. So the track is fantastic, and the video.
Did you get the tribute track or you played the original?
I played the original. I
gotta send you. I'll send you a MP3 of this track that goes with the video.
Yeah, please.
And it really kicks ass. I mean, it really does kick ass.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
that's super.
And you know, and we figured, you know, when Vinny came up with the idea, I said, let's get a PR guy, you know, to promote it so we can get it not only on our social medias, but everybody else's social media, radio stations, you know, websites, social medias, all that stuff. And I tell you what, it's been out a couple of days. We got almost 11,000 views, which is not bad for a couple of days.
That's great.
You know.
I think we shared it on our page, didn't we, Robbie?
Yep.
We shared the new video on our page.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
But you didn't see it yet, though?
I have not been able to watch it yet.
I've
seen
it.
What about you? You seen it, Robbie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see what I'm talking about. The screens are all moving.
Yep.
Very exciting, you know?
Yeah, it's cool.
Beautiful.
Really good.
Awesome.
And it achieved what it's supposed to achieve. We're still doing interviews. This is probably the 7th one I've done today. And tomorrow I have another 7 tomorrow. Last week, me and Vinny must have done 30 interviews between us.
Nice.
So you got to be a Zoom master by now, my brother.
Oh, man. You know what? Before this pandemic, I never heard of Zoom.
Neither did I.
I never heard of it. I never heard of it, but yeah, I am a master. Every Saturday, we do a Zoom family meeting at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11:30 Western, you know, and the West Coast. And we've been doing that for 4 weeks now. We're going to do the 5th one on Saturday. And I've done a master class on Zoom. I've done, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 interviews on Zoom. I've done a TV show the other day on Zoom.
Really?
For it's called Artists and Lockdown.
You know, I watched that with Ron.
With Ron Onesti. Yeah, we did that. And I believe it started on Zoom, and then they took it and projected on Facebook Live or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again this Friday. And we're going to do it with my brother. You know, me and Vinny.
Right on.
Ron, you know, and we're going to, you know, the agent that put it together said, look, I'm trying to make a TV show out of this where people will pay $10 and get it around the world. He said we had, you know, over 10, 12,000 people that viewed it. He said, so we can get, you know, like promoters like Ron and Esty to buy it and promote the show. And then people pay a little fee to see it. And then, you know, it's like, you know, a way of, instead of playing on the road, you do something like this, you know?
Right.
It's beautiful.
That's cool. So one more thing before we kind of roll into some other stuff is I want to talk about Stick It. Your life of sex, drums, and rock and roll. Yeah. That's, you know, gotta be epic.
You know, I was writing this book for years, and I actually got the deal on VH1 Books, which I thought was great because they were a major company, and they got me the co-writer who wrote Nikki Sixx's book.
Oh, cool.
And we wrote the book. It took us about 9 months. By the time we were done, I had a lot of notes, and he came to New York. We drove around Brooklyn, where I lived, and he was an awesome writer. So he wrote it, put it all together. By the time we finished it, VH1 said, "We're going to get rid of the book department." I said, "You're kidding me, man. We just finished this damn thing."
No.
Yeah, so they did. Luckily, they paid us the advance they agreed upon. So that was good. But the bad thing about it, we didn't get the major release that we wanted. We didn't get that major release on a major book company. So it ended up not selling what we thought we would get out of it. We sold maybe close to 10,000 units, which is okay. But, we wanted to get on the New York Times bestseller and really sell like that. Nikki Sixx book sold 1 million units, but it's a great book. Everyone that bought it loves it. All the Amazon reviews are 5 stars, except for a couple that couldn't take the sex part of it, because there's some crazy sex things in it, like the Mud Shark story with Led Zeppelin and just a lot of great stories.
The original shark stories.
Yeah, the what?
The original shark stories, because I'm, playing with Jack Russell. He's a shark guy, and I was going, you guys have the original shark stories. He fishes and catches and does the perseverance of sharks and stuff, great whites. But
I didn't know that.
The original shark stories.
Tell Jack I said hi, but we told the story to Frank Zappa. He wrote a song that's on Mud Shark, yeah, and it's on the Frank Zappa Mothers of Invention live at the Fillmore 71.
Yeah.
So it took him a year and a half to get it out.
Wow.
But,
so, brother, you've been doing this since the 60s, 65, 60. Take us back,
67.
Brother. 67 is the birth of Vanilla Fudge, right?
Yeah.
So take us back to that era. I mean, for most of us, including me, we weren't there. We didn't know it. I mean, you played with some of the greatest there are, and Vanilla Fudge, broke the scene. What was it like being back then before?
Well, it was all brand new. Everything was new. We were pioneering everything. We were pioneering Vanilla Fudge. We pioneered music. Look at that bill. Vanilla Fudge, Jeff Beck Group. On that show, Led Zeppelin jammed with Jeff Beck Group.
Really?
And that was the last show that we did, and said, man, we want to play more of a guitar band. And John Bonham that night gave us Jeff Beck's phone number. 10 years after, and Edwin Hawkins singing "Oh Happy Day," and that was a crazy bill. It was all a really hard rocking bill. But look at all the things: Steppenwolf, Moody Blues, Under the Steppenwolf. It's Led Zeppelin, Buddy Guy, and Led Zeppelin were just out 6 months at that point. And they ended up being as big as we were. And on the very first show they played in America, they played with us. They opened up for Vanilla Fudge. And we ended up paying half their fee because the promoter didn't want to pay it because he didn't think they were going to draw anybody. So our manager and their manager was very close. And so we paid $750, which half of their $1,500 fee to be on our show. That's pretty wild. Yeah, we paid Led Zeppelin to be on our show. How funny.
So Plant and Page owe it all to you now.
Yeah. Well, and they mention it all the time in all their interviews, and there's a lot of it going around that their very first gig was in all their books and all the documentaries. We're always in it. And then I helped John Bonham get his Ludwig endorsement, and he got a drum set just like mine. Right?
Really?
Double bass drum set, just like mine. I got a picture on my phone that's on the top is me, and on the bottom is him. He almost looks like me. He had the mustache, and the drum set was the exact same drum set.
That's unbelievable. So sharing the stage with some of these legends, you shared this, you played a show where Hendrix was at. And
yeah.
What was the feel of music back then? Because we've lost that connectivity. We've lost that soul to the music.
So soul is a good word. We lost the soul. We lost the dynamics. There's no dynamics. And it started in the 80s, really.
Right.
All the bands there was no dynamics. Like Dio had dynamics.
Right.
Ronnie was from old school. He had dynamics. My brother played he learned R&B. His first band was a 9-piece R&B band, with horns.
Wow.
I had horn bands. I played with Hendrix when he was Jimmy James in New York City. We had a trio with a singer, and we played R&B songs. Jimi Hendrix was doing blues and cover songs, Bo Diddley and all that stuff. And he had his hair slicked back. It was Jimmy James and Jimmy James and the Blue Flames.
Blue Flames.
One time when we played, we both took we would do half-hour sets, and then about midnight they would do an hour of disco, they called it, where they play records. And me and Hendrix and my lead singer would go to a black prostitute's apartment and smoke some pot, look out over New York, and Jimmy would say, one day I'm going to make it. Myself, I didn't really care about if I made it or not, unless I had a living playing music. I wasn't like set my heart on, my heart wasn't set on making a hit record. It was set on making a living. So I was 17 years old. Wow. I bought a brand new 64 Chevy 327 4-speed from playing drums,
Wow.
And next time I saw him, he was Jimi Hendrix. I saw him in the press. It was Jimi Hendrix and playing with his teeth. He used to do that in the clubs, playing the way he played. There was 3 guys in New York played like that. One guy played with us, this guy Ronnie Lee Jack. Another guy was a guy called the Wizard that played on all the sessions. And then it was Jimmy, and when I saw him playing in an article, playing with his teeth, I said, holy crap, that looks like Jimmy James. Sure enough, I read the article. He was Jimi Hendrix. He was Jimmy James. Next time I saw him was in London in a restaurant. A place called the Speakeasy was the place to play. When we played there with Vanilla Fudge, everybody was there. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones. Is that Jimmy James? Yeah, there you go. There he is.
There he is right there, yeah.
There he is. Look at that.
Look at that hair.
That's what he looked like, dude. That's what he looked like.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Sweet.
That's crazy.
And when we played that club, the Beatles were there, the Rolling Stones, Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds, Jimmy Page, Traffic, all the bands were there.
Wow.
So one day we went there when we weren't playing, after we played, and Jimi Hendrix was in the restaurant part of the place. I went in there and I reminded him of us smoking that joint and playing this place, the Lighthouse in uptown New York. And he remembered and he said, that was you? I said, yeah, that was me. He goes, what are you doing now? I said, I play with Vanilla Fudge. He goes, man, I love the Fudge. I said, whoa, how cool. I said, well, that's us. He goes, man, you guys got soul. And then we became friends and we did a lot of gigs with Hendrix. We did a lot of gigs with him with Cactus. Matter of fact, that gig that I was telling you about, May 19th, that was the first gig we ever played. And it was with Hendrix at a stadium in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Really?
But when you played stadiums, you didn't play the whole stadium. You know? It was just an outdoor gig rather than being in an arena. So it might have been like we played stadiums on that whole tour with Vanilla Fudge with him. And some of the stadiums, like they're only like a third filled, which is maybe it hold 30,000 people. You'd have 10,000 people. The tickets were $5.
Right. Yeah, I was looking at the prices.
Because it wasn't a business yet.
Right.
We all used to go, we all made records. We all got played on airplay on all the radio stations that played that kind of stuff, the underground stuff. And we all played together. We all played gigs. We all helped each other. Yeah. We all played, we played gigs with the Cream. We played gigs with the Who. We played gigs with Big Brother and the Holding Company, with Janis Joplin. We had Led Zeppelin open for us, Frank Zappa open for us, Three Dog Night open for us. We had Sly and the Family Stone open for us. Creedence Clearwater opened for us. Everybody opened for us. Deep Purple opened for us,
I was going to ask that. That's cool. Deep Purple.
That's insane. I mean, you just...
And it wasn't called heavy metal.
Right.
It was called hard rock. We played a gig with Black Sabbath, Cactus, and Steel Mill. You know who was in Steel Mill? Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Seriously.
And it wasn't called heavy metal. This was 1970. It was called hard rock. And Black Sabbath, I don't know when Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Cactus and everybody else became heavy metal. You know,
Yeah.
there's a label
rock.
on this, but it was really hard rock. It wasn't heavy metal. I mean, I considered heavy metal like trash metal. That's what I thought heavy metal was. You know, Metallica. That's what I thought heavy metal was. I
Yeah.
don't think, you know, Dio was heavy metal. Dio was hard rock, soulful, soulful. Black Sabbath, same thing. I mean, you know, they got heavier as years went on. You know, but really, you know who I think the first heavy metal band ever was?
Who's that?
Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer. Yeah.
Blue
They were
Cheer.
heavy.
Blue Cheer.
They were
They used
heavy.
to go on stage with 3 stacks of Marshalls for the guitar and 3 stacks of Marshalls for the bass. You know, and they were a trio, and they were really heavy. You know, loud and heavy.
I had their
That's who I think was the first heavy metal band. But
Yeah.
nobody even talks about it or even mentions Blue Cheer ever.
Yeah.
You know, Black Sabbath was the heavy metal first heavy. You know, they were hard
Summertime
rock.
Blues, right? Summertime Blues was one of their hits. I had it on a 45. I used to listen to that.
And,
Yeah.
and how heavy was it?
It was, yeah, for that time, especially, man, it's
Yeah.
intense.
I mean, it was no heavier, or Sabbath was no heavier than them.
No.
Look at these
Sabbath's
guys.
first album was no heavier than Cactus sound on the first album.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone sounded like that.
So this is Blue Cheer right here. They look like kids.
They do.
Oh, they were what kids? We were all 20 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, you look at a picture of Vanilla Fudge, forget about it. I was 20
Right.
years old, I was 21 years old on the Ed Sullivan Show playing in front of 50
Wow.
million people. You know?
So
Crazy.
our producers are saying that they've got some questions that some people would like to ask. Would you like to hang on for just a moment?
Sure.
All right, we're going to bring our producer in right now. Let's see if she's ready to come in. All right.
I did one today. The producer was it just had a square in his picture.
Oh,
I
yeah?
said, dude, your producer's very square, isn't he?
She's square too.
Oh, you got a lady
Hold on
producer.
just a second.
Hey,
Here you
she's
got
better
some
looking than the square.
Right? All right. A-Dub, so you got some questions for Carmine? All right, let's have them.
All right. The first one I have is for Carmine. It is, of all the places that you've played live, what place made you stop and go, wow, this is it?
Wow. You mean like a country or a venue?
Whichever you would like.
You know what? There's too many.
Too many.
Too
All
many.
right.
I mean,
Move on to the next
especially
question.
like with Rod Stewart, there was, you know, every night was wow.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Brenda P has 2 questions for you. Where did you grow up is the first one. And the second one is, when you first began playing music, were you drawn to any other genre of music than the one you ended up in?
Yes, I grew up in Brooklyn, and my first genre of music that I liked to play was jazz.
Yes.
My first album, most people go, hey, what was your first album? They expect me to say like the Beatle album or something.
Right.
No, Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich, the
Gene
greatest drummers in the world.
Oh, wow.
That was my first album. My second album was Dave Brubeck Quartet with Joe Morello. My third album was award-winning drummer with Matt Schroach. And yeah, my older brother used to listen to Elvis and Little Richard and all that. So I listened to some of that with him. But that didn't really influence me drumming-wise as much as the drummers and the drumming from jazz, because that was more spontaneous and you played more. And rock drumming and rock music wasn't that developed yet. You know, that's one thing that we started doing in '67. We all pioneered rock music to make it more of an art form. And
Absolutely.
why, you know?
A-Dub?
I think I
one more?
have one more. Rafa wants to know if you could legitimately see a reunion for Blue Monday.
A
Blue
what?
Murder. Sorry,
Blue-
typo.
No,
Reunion for Blue
I don't see it. I don't see it. You know,
All right.
we
Thanks, Doug.
tried,
We're gonna throw
we
you back
tried for
out.
years. We tried for years and it hasn't happened yet. So I don't really see it's going to happen. The closest you're going to get to Blue Murder is my Guitar Zeus record. Because you got Tony Franklin, the bass player from Blue Murder, and me. You got 2/3. You got Kelly Keeling, who sang and played some rhythm guitars on the second Blue Murder album, and he's the singer and the co-writer on the whole album.
Mhm.
So you got 3 ex-Blue Murder guys on there, and then you got all these other great guitar players to fill in for John Sykes, like Brian May and Slash and A.V. Malmsteen, Richie Sambora, and Ted Nugent, and you got it,
Wow.
It's interesting. You were talking ticket prices. That I noticed that ticket price was $3.50, but the Kinetic Playground ticket prices were $5,
Wow.
which is like a big jump.
Right.
But the Kinetic
And that was
Playground, I mean, it's,
that was a fun show because it was the opening act was Jethro Tull. This is funny as hell, right? Then
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, and then Vanilla Fudge. We were the headliners. So Clive Bunker was a Ludwig endorser like me and John Bonham. So when he went on, me and John stood behind him and we used to throw spitballs at him. And then when John went on, me and Clive sat behind John and we threw spitballs at him. And of course, when I went on, they threw spitballs at me.
yeah.
But that's the kind of fun we used to have because, it wasn't a business yet. And the whole
Right.
audience was fine with it, because everybody was tripping and on acid and smoked out of their brains and
Right.
messed up. And, it's a whole different vibe,
Yeah.
Today, it's just all about the money.
Yeah, those spitballs
It's all
would be on
about the
eBay
money,
today.
I mean, and you can't make any money in records anymore. Spotify pays you so little that it is, it takes about 300 or 400 streams to make 1 penny. Think about trying to make some money on that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
It's totally different world. I mean, it's changed. Every generation just changes
Oh,
dramatically.
it's worse. It's worse. I mean, it was bad enough when they went to iTunes.
Yeah.
And then they were selling. People didn't have to buy a whole record. They bought 1 tune for $1.25. But at least you made 75 cents.
Yeah.
But now it's a joke. I mean, you get. I don't know about you. I get royalties that are that thick.
Yeah.
Like, what, $200?
Yeah.
It's like 150 pages of 0.003. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's pretty sad.
That's why everybody was touring.
Yeah.
So much, because there was no money. And now with this virus, we don't even know when, we had gigs. I'm sure you guys had gigs.
Yeah, we had a lot.
All canceled. And they
Yep.
moved them up. We had Vanilla Fudge gigs, a whole tour of Vanilla Fudge gigs moved to July. The manager says, I don't know. I doubt if it's going to happen. We got Cactus gigs moved to September. We don't know if those are going to happen. So,
Yeah, we were booked all the way through the end of the year, and everything's starting in April, and it's
Gone.
canceled right now through June, but it's looking like July is going to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real promising. Some of the
No, and
dates.
unless a musician is set up where he's got money, it hurts.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm okay, because I've been doing this a long time. I'm
Yeah.
old enough to get pensions and all Social Security and all that stuff. And, I don't have health. I got Medicare. I'm 73 years old. I'm a senior citizen or an elderly statesman in rock, anyway.
There you go.
But, us older guys are more set up. Like guys like Robbie, that are playing gigs and, playing with Great White and the records you made didn't make the gold and platinum status.
right.
Whose gold records are that on the wall?
Those are Jack's, but he gave them to me because when we toured on those, it's a best of. So the best of became gold when for touring.
If Jack gives you permission, I have a place that makes gold records, the original awards with your name on it. It costs $180.
It's dedicated to me from him. So
It's dedicated to you?
Yeah, dedicated right to me. Yep.
Oh, so your name's on those.
Yes.
Oh,
they
that's
are,
great.
because
Okay,
what
so
happened was because they became gold from touring. He goes, you know what? You helped these go gold. I'm giving you a gold, these albums. I'm going, you know what? I'm not going to turn it down. Looks good on my wall.
Oh, yeah, good, man. Good. Yeah. So the difference is, if you had recorded those, you would be getting royalties, but they wouldn't be
Right.
that much anymore. Like when I wrote "Do You Think I'm Sexy," that thing made so much money.
Oh yeah.
Lately,
#1 hit.
yeah, I sold it back to Warner Brothers Publications because it was making crap, and with the money, I bought real estate that makes money. So you got to be smart with your money. And a lot of musicians I know that made millions of dollars are broke now, and this pandemic is killing them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do a lot of concerts here and promote a lot of concerts, and it's killing us right now. We're looking at venues, and venues are putting us out past September and October and November, and people
Where
are,
are you in? Are you in Arizona?
I'm in Texas.
Are you in Texas? Where in Texas?
Yes, sir. West Texas, in a town called San Angelo.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard of that place. Yeah.
Little north of San Antonio.
Yeah, Texas. Ted lives there in Texas now.
Yep.
My buddy.
Yeah.
I
Ted
love
actually does some work in our Waco studios. He uses our
Really?
studios to do some of his stuff up there. So
Yeah. I
hell of
just
a
gave
guy.
him 2 of my Guitar Zoo songs that he played on for that TV show he has,
Right?
and that wildlife TV show.
Yeah.
One of them is called Days and Nights. The other one's called Even Up the Score. That's a perfect one for Ted. Even Up the Score, right? Perfect.
Right?
Yeah, but I love Ted. When I came out I met Ted. I've known him for a long time. He was managed by my manager in '68, and we were good friends. And back in the day, when I was with Rod, and Rod's music was getting a little wimpy. We did an American Music Awards with Rod, and Ted was on it. And Ted came up to me and said, "Hey, Carmine, when you're done playing this wimpy rock and you want to play a man's rock, give me a call." So when I left Rod, I called Ted. I went right in with Ted. I did that
There you
tour in
go.
1982, and it was awesome. We had a great time. And on 4th of July, we went to Ted's house and we shot all these machine guns and all these guns, and I think he even had a bazooka there. We shot it into this giant hill he called Lead Hill, because all he did was, he shoots all his guns into that hill, target practice. And it was so much fun,
Wow,
That
how
was the
cool.
fireworks, shooting the gun.
So
it's
we've got
Oh, go ahead.
Robbie, we've got Jay Mars. He's one of our
Oh yeah, I know who
family.
Jay is. Yeah.
He wants to come in on the chat. Are you guys good with that?
Sure.
Who is Jay?
He's a guy that's been kind of a friend on Facebook, a fan of Jack Russell's Great White, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, he's a good guy.
All right, we got a quick shout out to.
Before you bring him on, I'd like to say, if anyone wants to get my book or autographed, or the Guitar Zeus autograph, LP autograph, they can go to my website, carmineappice.com or .net, and I'll autograph it and we'll have it sent out.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. We'll keep pumping that too here, because I'm going to have to get me one.
Yeah, you got to get one.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get one too. I should have had it already, but with this pandemic, how things are.
Yeah.
Right?
Scraping every penny to make sure we get by over here. Hey, it's just the truth.
Well, at least Trump did the unemployment for everybody.
Oh, yes.
So hopefully,
Yeah, I haven't gotten
hopefully
it
the
yet.
guys, I learned a lot of musicians I know are getting that.
Yeah, I haven't
And
gotten
they
it
never
yet.
got it before.
Yeah,
Are you in California?
I am. I
You
should
should
be
get it,
getting
then.
it, but so far I haven't. 2 of the guys in the band are getting it. I haven't. Jack hasn't.
Have you put in for it?
Oh yeah,
Well, you'll get it. You'll get it.
yeah,
Yeah, you'll get
Wow.
it.
that would be good.
It took a
Hey,
while.
you're live in the hangout with Carmine Appice. How you doing, Jay?
Good. How you guys doing?
What's happening, Jay?
Hey, Jay, what's up, dude?
Hey, not much, bro. How you doing, man? Long time no see.
I'm good. Where are you at?
Not too far from Mankato, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Boy, we're all over the place here.
Nice.
Connecticut, we got LA, we got San
Texas.
Angelo, Texas, and now we're in Minnesota.
How
got it.
cool. Jay, you been a Carmine fan for a while, I take it?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate
Follow
it.
each
Thank you,
other
man.
on Twitter.
Is that your stage name or is that your real name?
No, it's pretty close to my real name, yes.
Because I know Mick Mars. Is he your brother?
No, sir.
Mick's on that Guitar Zeus record too.
Yes,
Right.
sir. Yep.
He's a good
No,
guy.
it's pretty close. Long story, but I shortened it up a little bit, so it's close though.
Yeah, that's cool.
There you
Well, I
go.
know he
there you-
doesn't spell it with a Z. The Z makes it unique, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jay's always cooking up some good food. I see a lot of those pictures. I'm like, man, I should be there eating.
Yeah, I like that one that you put up the other night there when you commented on that.
What have you been cooking?
Oh, we've had a few steaks, a few pork chops, some potatoes that are to die for from my wife, Lady T,
Nice.
who was named by David Coverdale back in the day. And I don't know, we got a new grill and we've been playing around with it. So.
So you cook them on the barbecue?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. So did you ever hear your wife ever say, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking"?
I'm waiting for that moment, but I guess
So
we
we got to say happy birthday to Dixie Hayes. It's her birthday, and a big shout out to Sean Baxter. Much love to you, Carmine and Robbie from Sean. Jay, now I know you follow us on Facebook, man. I know you're on the Jack FM Facebook page with us. Carmine Appice, obviously an absolute legend and rock icon. How long have you been following his music and his career? Let's talk a little bit about what turned you on to Carmine and his music and style.
Well, actually, both him and his brother, I really dig. Gone back for probably, for me at least, 10 years or so. Caught this and that here and there. Especially, lately with his brother on the Joe Hoekstra's album as well. Joe Hoekstra 13.
Yeah, Joe. I think Joe played on our album too, on our Peace album.
Yep. And I've really dug both of them for a long time. Was really cool to connect with him on Twitter and whatnot, and catch some of his stuff. And out this close, to be honest with you, to ordering your book, which I should have done a long time ago, but not bad. So
yeah,
we'll get her done.
There you
We'll
go.
get her done.
Get her done, and then you can go to carmineappice.com and get it autographed. Is that right, Carmine?
Yeah, you can get it autographed. And
There you go.
yeah, I understand. We just sent out a whole bunch today. All these interviews we're doing for Ronnie's thing. They've been asking about the book and where to get it, so people have been ordering it. And
Cool.
it's a good read. I mean, I got to say, this guy who wrote it was a great writer, because when I first read the first chapter, which is about me playing with Ozzy, I just had rotator cuff surgery, and I was in the rehab, and he sent it to me, and I read it on my phone, and they said, "Come on in." I said, "Hold on a minute." I was reading it, and I read it like an outsider, because he wrote it so well that he sucked me right into the story.
No.
I said, "Wow, this guy's a good writer."
That makes for a great story when you can actually look at yourself and see it that way.
Exactly. And then I remember I went in, and this is the great thing about rehab. You get shoulder surgery, and they have to stretch it, right? So they go, "Does this hurt?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Ah!" They push it back more.
Knock it off, dude.
Oh, man. Terrible.
I've had a couple good friends that have had that surgery, and oh my golly, they swore to God
It's
they
bad.
never.
The first time I did it was, I did it on my left shoulder first. I was playing with Michael Schenker, and I was doing a big roll, this big, like, bam, I hit my Chinese symbol up there, and I had such a pain from my shoulder all the way down to my hand. I brought my arm down, and I couldn't move it. It was stuck there the whole night. So my drum solo was coming up, and I'm trying to get Michael's attention. And if you've seen Michael play, all he does is this.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm yelling, "Michael, Michael." Told my roller to call, and trying to say, "Pass on the drum solo tonight. My arm is screwed up,"
Right.
Didn't hear him.
Oh,
He plays, he goes into my solo. That was the worst solo I ever played. I had to put my arm resting on my stomach, and I was going for the tom like this, moving, playing here and then going like that, moving my whole body up so I could reach a tom-tom. It was almost a one-hander solo. It was terrible. And then I had to get it fixed, and I had a 20-city Carmine Appice tour of Europe right after that. So I didn't want to blow it out. I would have lost a lot of dough and screwed a lot of people's lives up, the other musicians. So I got a cortisone shot.
Oh, yeah.
It lasted me the 3 weeks I was there, the 3.5 weeks I was there. Just as I got back, it started hurting again. I went in and had the surgery. That was the left arm,
Wow.
you know. And I tell you, you do the right arm, it's different. I'm righty. Just stupid things like you go take a dump and you're right-handed.
Right?
Think about that, right?
Yeah.
Next time you go do it, try it with your left hand.
I can't do anything with my left hand, man.
Exactly. And with the drums, I'm pretty good with both hands, but that was ridiculous. But
No,
I had them both done, and now this one didn't heal up as good as the left one. I had a different
Right.
doctor, you know.
Wow.
Fun stories.
So can we talk a little bit about the Rod Stewart days and
Sure.
going in?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because you played the Forum. I think it was like 6 nights in a row,
6
sold
nights,
out,
yep,
and the people in that audience that were the celebrities in the audience.
Yep. I got an amazing story for that. One night we did 6 nights. Everybody came. Aerosmith. Everyone was in LA for taxes. You know, most of the English guys, but Aerosmith were there anyway. Queen were there, and Rolling Stones were there. Tony Curtis, Fred Astaire, Gregory
Fred
Peck,
Astaire.
Valerie Perrine, and I said, "Wow, this is unbelievable." So one night I saw Fred Astaire and Gregory Peck there. Come on, this is like Hollywood royalty, you know. So after those shows, a week later, Alan Carr, who produced the Grease movie, threw a party for Rod and his wife in Atlanta. It was a wedding party. So we all went. So I go and I'm walking in, I'm hanging out, and I see somebody coming to me, this big guy. So I turn around and look at him. He puts out his hand and he goes, "Hi, I'm Gregory Peck."
Gregory Peck.
"Hi, I'm Greg. Yeah, I know who you are." I said, if my mother was here, she would die. "Oh my God, Gregory Peck." He goes, "Yeah, we were at your show the other night." I said, "Yeah, I know you were at the show. I saw you guys." I said, "You were there with Fred Astaire?" He goes, "Yeah, I was." And when you were doing your drum solo, Fred Astaire looked at me and said, "This is the best drum solo I've seen since Gene Krupa." And I said, "Fred Astaire said that about me?" And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, Gregory Peck is telling me this. Oh my God, Gene Krupa's my idol. This is unbelievable." I'm like pinching myself,
Right.
So then I said, "Wow, thanks, Greg."
Fred
Thanks,
Astaire was a
Greg.
drummer, right? I think Fred Astaire played drums.
Yeah. So then he says, "Fred's a drummer." I said, "Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he's a drummer."
Yeah.
And he said, "He really looks at you with a lot of respect because he can't imagine how to play drums like that, to play rock and roll drums like that." I said, "Really?" I said, "Look, I have a book. I have this big selling instructional book." I said, "I have a book called Realistic Rock." He goes, "Oh man, why don't you give me one and I'll give it to Fred. He would love it." I'm thinking, this is totally crazy, dude. So Rod Stewart used to live next door to Gregory Peck in Beverly Hills. They both had these giant houses with giant gates that open up. You ring the buzzer, the giant gates open up like a castle. So he said, "Next time you're at Rod's playing, drop a book off at my house and I'll give it to Fred." I said, "Cool, Greg." Killing me. "Cool, Greg," So I do that at Rod's house rehearsing. I ring the bell, the door's open. I walk up to this gigantic doorway, made of wood. They're like 8 feet high and about 8 feet wide. He opens the door. I give him the book and I wrote in it, "To Fred, hope this book helps you play. Love, Carmine, Appice."
Right.
Great. 2 weeks go by. I go back to Rod's house. Rod's publicist says, "This came for you." It's an envelope. It says Ava Productions. I don't know what it was. I ripped the envelope up. I rip up the envelope, throw it away. I read the letter. It says, "Dear Carmine Appice, thank you for the book with a lovely inscription in it. I enjoyed your work many times. Thank you again. Love, Fred Astaire."
Wow.
I could not believe it. I'm going, this is unbelievable. So when I told the story in the book, I said, "This is unbelievable. A kid from Brooklyn dealing and hanging out with Hollywood royalty and then getting a letter from Fred Astaire. How
You still-
cool is that?
You still have that letter
Oh yeah,
Kidding.
framed?
it's in a frame.
Yeah.
It's actually in my locker in LA, being ready to move to the new house we bought in Florida. And we're moving there in a couple of weeks. And
Wow.
definitely going on the wall, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's been on many walls to all the different houses I lived in since then. That was like 1979.
That had to have been incredibly surreal for you.
It was surreal. I'll tell you a quick one, then I pretty much got to go. But really another one similar to that was not as big a star, but this one's pretty cool. I had leased a Cobra Mustang, you know, a red one.
Right.
And I'm sitting across the street from the House of Blues on Sunset Boulevard. I just picked my car up. There you go. House of Blues on Sunset Boulevard. And I'm sitting in the car waiting for my ex-wife at the time to come.
Right.
And I see somebody coming at my car, and I'm looking, he's coming at me fast. And he's coming at, look really like excited and mean. I'm Andrew Dice Clay. So I open the window. Say, hey, Carmine, how you doing? I go, hey, Andrew, how you doing? He goes, hey, Carmine, I just want to tell you, I went through that book of yours. What's that book, that drum book you had, that book? I said, Realistic Rock. Yeah, Realistic Rock. I went through that book. I said, you play drums? He goes, yeah, I play drums. I went through that book. I said, no kidding. He said, hey, give me your number. He says, I got 2 kids that are learning to play drums. I want you to give them lessons. I said, okay. So I took his number. I gave him my number. 2 weeks later, I'm in his house giving his kids lessons. I took my son with me, who was the same age. So while I was giving them lessons, he had 3 drum sets in the garage. While I'm giving them lessons, my son was with the other kid playing basketball on his property, you know? And then Dice would come out, and really good dad, you know? So I ended up being really close friends with Dice. I went to his son's bar mitzvah. I went to the movies with him to see one of his movies. Then the fans see, Carmine, Appice, oh my God, Dice. Carmine and Dice, wow, this, you know, what a fun experience. So on the later versions of my drum book, I put Dice. I asked him if he'd give me a quote, you know, and he said, Carmine's book is the Bible for rock drummers.
You gotta love that.
Unbelievable. So I mean, I've had a great life. I mean, I've been blessed, really, you know, and I thank God every day for all the blessings I've had in my career and my life, and getting to know all these great people and playing with all these great people, and you know, and I'm glad I'm still here. I have all the drummers from the '67 era. I'm the only one left.
Yeah.
There's Mitch
that,
Mitchell
bro.
gone, Ginger Baker gone, Keith Moon gone, you know, and the second wave was like Ian Pace, he's still here.
Yeah.
John Bonham, he's gone,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe Don Brewer might have been in that one from Grand Funk, you know, he's still around. But a lot of these guys are gone or out of business. Dino Dinelli, the Rascals,
Yeah.
tremendous drummer, you know. I had the honor of playing with the Rascals in 2018 for like 15 shows, and it was fantastic playing that music, you know.
Nice. Carmine, I know you said you got to go, man. I
Yep.
just want to thank you so much. I mean, honestly, nothing but love and respect for you, brother, and everything you've done for us and our culture
I
and music.
appreciate it, man. And when we get our new Cactus record mixed, which we're doing now, we'll make sure you guys get a copy so you can pump it on the air.
I'll email over some of my contact information for you, sir. Thank you so
You got
much.
it,
I
bro.
appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
All right,
You
my
guys,
brother.
Robbie, I'll see you soon, bro. Jay,
right, sounds
take care,
good.
brother.
All right,
You
take
too,
care.
brother. Thank you much.
Jay, thanks for
All right,
joining us,
bye-bye,
brother.
bye-bye.
Great
Bye-bye.
chat with you.
Wow. So that was something else, huh?
No,
That was
kidding.
incredible.
Wow.
I mean, come on. The
An
history.
absolute legend.
I mean,
Jay,
the-
thanks so much for joining us, brother. We're gonna close it up here, but thank you again. Thanks for all your support
good.
for not only us, but for Jack Russell's Great White and everything that you do, brother. We appreciate you.
Oh, you got it, bro. Thank you
Much
much.
love,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was incredible, Robbie.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of almost speechless. I just didn't. What are you going to say? Just kind of listening. Yeah, tell us more. Imagine the volume of stories you can get out of the guy. I mean,
That was rock royalty, man.
The who's who of rock from the beginning of rock. Really
Unbelievable.
Yep. I wanted to ask him
Unbelievable.
about Janis Joplin too. He probably knew her. I mean,
He said he played.
Did he say?
He said he played with her. Yeah.
There were so many names going. I just couldn't even. It was like, wow, yeah.
I know.
Hey, you know what? I've jammed with him several times now.
You have. You've shared the stage with them, man, and that is incredible. We've got to get him out here. We got to get you out here. We got to get these concerts going. And man, it was a blessing to have somebody of rock royalty on the show with us tonight. And
Yep.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. I mean, just incredible.
Yeah, we didn't even get to ask him about that.
No, I know. I was like, he just took off, and I just didn't want to even interrupt him. I'm like,
Right?
I kept looking at myself in the camera going. So, man, thanks for joining us, folks. We love you very much. Next week, tune in. We've got the boys from Candlebox. We got Kevin Martin. We've got Adam Curry, man, and it can't get any better than this. These guys are fantastic. I've done some shows with them, and they put on one hell of a concert. They're good guys. The week after that, we got Morgan Miles. Check her out. Go to YouTube, Morgan Miles. Subscribe to her channel. She's got that big song out right now called Therapy. I'll tell you what, you listen to her voice, she's got like a Joplin, Melissa Etheridge edge to her. She is phenomenal, and she's an up-and-comer. She's playing some big gigs right now.
Some big gigs. And push like on the 103.5 Jack FM page.
Somewhere down there or over there, maybe up there.
If you keep up with what's coming up in the weeks coming.
That's it. That's it. Push those likes, and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep rocking out long after this pandemic, because we're all family, man, and we love each and every one of you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Robbie. Love you, brother.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right, let's get out of here. It's 103.5. It's Jack FM. It was the Hangout.
Hangout.